Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this quick workshop on using Claude in Excel for finance and FP&A. So, gone are those days when we used to say that AI will come and take over your jobs or AI will come and automate a lot of things. It's already here, right? It's already happening day by day. The models are improving day by day. The results are getting better and better. 6 to 8 months ago, when Asif and I were experimenting with a few tools, the Excel results were not great. The presentations were not great. But now things have changed a lot. Autonomously, a lot of financial models can be built. I'm sure we'll discuss a few use cases today. There are agentic AI systems which are building an entire CFO deck for you. Not only just the presentation, but it will also study your data, build an entire deck for you. The world is changing very fast. Okay. So that's where this webinar will help you kind of understand how Claude is going to impact the future of your FP&A role in the coming weeks or coming months. So what are we going to cover today? Over the next 60 minutes or so, I would encourage everybody to get rid of all your distractions, get rid of all your phones and messages and everything. So we'll try and understand what is Claude inside the Excel, how do we install it, how do we use it, some basics about Claude and why is it getting so much popular these days, and how the new version of it has significantly improved the capabilities inside an Excel. Then we'll also look at some practical use cases on using Claude in Excel, especially for finance and FP&A activities. We'll try and cover as many use cases as possible in the limited time that we have. And of course, we'll wait for the Q&A till the end. We'll be happy to take any questions that you might have on Claude or your FP&A role or AI and FP&A in general. Okay. So all in all, it's going to be an exciting 45 minutes. And if you wait till the very end, we'll also share with you a special bonus video case study and data sets where we will be sharing 30 use cases on how do you use Claude with video instructions, with practice files, and these are all instances or cases around finance and FP&A. Okay, so that will be shared in the end. So make sure that you wait till the very end and try and maximize the workshop or the insights from the workshop that we are trying to share. A little bit about us before we begin with. My name is Dhawal Parvatikar. I'm a qualified chartered accountant. I've also completed my 1-year executive program from IIM Ahmedabad. Over the last 16 years, I've served as a CFO in India and in the Middle East. I'm now the co-founder and lead faculty at FP&A Professionals Institute. Over the last 6 years, I've been an active online instructor and have trained more than 5,000 professionals on various topics like FP&A, finance business partnering, data storytelling, one-on-one CFO career coaching, and now AI and FP&A. I'm frequently seen in events across the Middle East, as a speaker, as a moderator, as a host. I built an active CFO community of more than 200 CFOs across the Middle East. We keep meeting regularly, exchanging ideas. My question to CFOs is always around understanding what is the kind of talent that they're looking for, and that will help us shape the next generation of talent in FPI. I'm joined by my partner, Asif Masani. Asif, a quick introduction from your end.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you so much, Dhawan. And happy to be partnering with you on this webinar. Quickly about me, I've been working in finance, very specifically in FP&A for over a decade now. I started as an FP&A analyst back in 2013, and my most recent role was as a FP&A lead for the APAC region for one of the largest tech companies. And in 2023, we decided to start FP&A Professionals Institute. And over the last 3.5 years now, we have had an incredible opportunity and privilege to be partnering with. We just try not to bring my and our experience and expertise to our community, but we do bring in experts, FP&A experts, and CFOs from all over the world, and we try to bring in their expertise to our audience. It could be through whatever we do. So there could be books, podcasts, webinars, courses, certifications, whatever we do at FP&A Professionals, we try to bring in the experience of top FP&A professionals to you directly. So that's a little bit about FPI. So we started in 2022 as a side hustle along with our full-time roles, and then 2023 we went into it full-time, and it has been 3 years since then. And we've trained more than 5,000 students across different courses, certifications that you see on the screen. So that's a little bit about me and FPI and Dhawal. With that, we will get started into today's topic, which is using Claude inside Excel, which is one of the most interesting topics I have seen especially during 2026 in the last 3 months. And this is one topic which is one of the, I would say, the most hottest and one of the most game-changing topics for finance professionals if you're looking in terms of improving your productivity and becoming better at your roles in finance. So you must have heard this news roughly about 1 month back in early February that stock markets across the world lost trillions, not billions, trillions and hundreds of billions of dollars overnight. I think it was about a couple of days, and trillions of dollars were wiped off. It was mainly software companies which lost market value because they were able to see, the investors were able to see that Claude can now do whatever these software company could do, or the people at these software companies could do, without having so many people on the payroll. Okay, so that is one of the time when Claude also the Excel capabilities inside Claude also started getting attention, and that is the time when I started experimenting with Claude. And it has been about more than 1.5 months since I've been using Claude every day for my finance workflow. So what I'll be sharing is my experience of using Claude over the last 1.5 months, and I've picked a very specific FP&A use cases for you to be able to see the power of AI tools and especially Claude in your finance workflows. So Dhawal, I'll be sharing my screen. Just give me one moment. Okay. So quickly, how do you install Claude? Is first of all, you will need the Claude paid version. So let me just show you how do you get that, just in case if you haven't done that before. Well, I don't see an option to share the screen. Can you make me the host? Oh, yeah, I can see it now. I can see it now. So what you can do is you can go to Claude.ai, and when you go there, typically you would see a screen. So right now I am logged in. Let me log out and show you how it will look like when you go on the claudeai.com. Okay, so it'll ask you to create an account, very similar to how you create an email account. You could go in and use your Google account if you want to connect your Google account to it, which is the fastest way to get started with Claude. And I also have connected my Google account. Or alternatively, you could use your email and then get yourself registered. Okay, so let me just or let me just use one of our other accounts to just show you how the process would look like. So once you select your email or you go through the Google account connected, it'll ask you to sign into Claude. Okay, and you have to go through this process where you will have to give your name. I'll say FPI, and say agree with the Anthropic's customer terms, and you may want to read these policies and terms and conditions before you sign up. And if you want, you can subscribe to this occasional marketing newsletter. I'll say create an account. Okay, and it'll ask you to give your contact number. Okay, so let me give me my India number. Okay, so now it has started to do verification. Earlier, it was not the case. Earlier, you could do that without the OTP. I've got a OTP on my mobile phone. Okay, I'm creating an account. Okay, so I think it will not allow me because I already have an account linked to this number. But after this step, what happens is it takes you to the paywall, where you have to select between one of the three options. Either go for a free version of Claude or upgrade to Claude Pro or Claude Max. For the purposes of this webinar, we are using Claude Pro account. So for you to be able to use Claude inside Excel, you will need the Claude Pro account, which is typically $20 a month in most countries. And with the help of Claude Pro account, you will be able to install the Excel add-in and do whatever we are showing you right now in the webinar. Quickly, again, you will need a Claude Pro account, which is $20 per month once you register. And once you have a paid subscription, you will be able to go inside Excel and get the Claude Excel add-in and then do whatever we are doing today. Okay. So let me go and move to Excel in that case. Okay. So let me open a new blank Excel file. So right now you see the Claude ribbon here, which is inside my home menu. You just see in my Excel ribbon under the home menu, and you go to the extreme right to the last one here, which is the Claude Excel add-in. If you don't have that, if you have never used Claude, you can go here and search for Claude, and you can just click on it and install it. It should not take more than a minute to install. And once you install it, you will also see this Excel add-in, and then you will be able to do whatever we are doing today in our webinar. So what I want you to do is for the next 30 minutes or so, you pay attention on the screen. I'll be sharing, as Dhawal mentioned, all the videos and all the use cases, all the data sets with you so that you can practice it later on. But first, in the next 30 minutes, you can just observe what are the capabilities of Claude. And I've selected use cases based on different disciplines in FP&A. So you will see a use case on budgeting, you'll see a use case on forecasting, you'll see a use case on financial modeling, see a use case on doing analysis. You'll see different use cases, and based on that, you will also be able to figure out what are the other things that you could do from your day-to-day work inside Claude. Okay, so that's the objective of the webinar. So there are few use cases I will share, and the idea of those use cases is for you to also look at your day-to-day workflow and identify where you could implement or where you could use AI in your workflow and make yourselves more productive and your make yourselves more useful in at your role. Okay, so that is the objective of the session today. Okay, I'll take a quick pause, see if there are any comments in the chat box. If not, we'll get into the use cases that we have planned for you today. Okay, so there's a question. Without the Pro version, would it work in Excel? Okay, so as of today, answer is no. Uh, as of today, and this could change in the future. That's why I'm saying as of today. You need a Pro version to be able to use Claude Excel inside you need a Pro version to use the Claude Excel add-in. So if you want to use Claude inside Excel, you will need the Pro version as of today, which could change in the future. What are the charges for the Pro? So the charges for the Pro is $20 a month if you pay on a monthly basis. Okay, so if you pay on an ongoing monthly basis, it's $20 per month. You could pay annually and maybe reduce it by 10-20%. But the monthly charges or monthly subscription is about $20. In most countries, it could be different in some countries, but most of the countries that I know, it is $20 per month. Okay, all right. So with that, I will get into today's use cases. So let me just quickly share what are the use cases we are going to cover. So we're going to cover these three use cases. So first, let me show you a use case on budgeting, where in budgeting, typically FP&A teams get a lot of data from different departments, and their objective is to their biggest headache is to then consolidate all of these data into one spreadsheet and then prepare a consolidated MIS from that. Okay, so that is one use case which Claude can handle very seamlessly. So let me talk about that use case first. So let me go inside Excel, and I'll open up a workbook where I have set up some worksheets which is going to which where I need to do this consolidation. Okay. So first of all, let me walk you through the data set here. Okay, so you have five different departments. In fact, these are five different hotel properties, and each one is in a different location. So the first hotel is in Dubai, the second in Abu Dhabi, the third in Sharjah, the fourth in Oman, and then one in Bahrain. So all of these hotels have submitted their departmental budgets or their respective budgets, and now I am sitting at the head office and I want to consolidate all of these budgets and then present this to the senior management before we create the CFO presentation. Okay, so this is the objective. Now I have also the template that I usually use on an annual basis to just I have a set template that I am using every time, which I manually consolidate on a regular basis. So what I would do, if not for AI, is I would go to each and every column here and then link these numbers to each of the business unit sheets that you see on the next. So instead of doing that, what I'll do is I'll quickly give Claude a prompt. So let me just I have pasted the prompt here. So let me go to Claude and give that prompt. Okay, so let me just pick this prompt from here and let me give it inside this Excel add-in ribbon that you see. Okay, quickly before I go into the use case, yeah, quick background about this Excel add-in. So you get this when you click on the Claude ribbon that you install. Okay, and you can interact with it using this chat window, very similar to ChatGPT. Okay, so this window is the interface where you can interact with the Excel file. Now I'm asking it to link the numbers in the consolidated MIS. Consolidated MIS is my consolidation sheet. Okay, from respective BU sheet. So you have BU1, BU2, BU3, which is BU1 to BU5. I'm asking Claude to link the numbers in the consolidated MIS, which would probably take me a lot of manual work or linking work. Okay. And I am, or in if not, I would have you had to have to use some sophisticated Excel formulas. Okay, so let's see if Claude is able to do this for me. I'll press enter. Okay, and it says that I will start examining the structure of your consolidated MI sheet. Okay. Next, it says that I can see all the sheet. Let me read the consolidated MI structure. So it's now reading all the data in the file. So there's a lot of data. It's reading all the data and trying to understand what the structure is. So within less than 30 seconds, it was able to understand, and it says now I have a complete picture. Let me map the structure. And if you notice on the left hand side, the numbers have started populating. So Claude has already started doing the consolidation work. So it has already consolidated two of the five business units. This linking work, which it is doing, probably manually it would have taken me half an hour to 40 minutes to just link or maybe figure out a formula to be able to do that. Okay, so three of the departments are now consolidated. It's doing the fourth one now. Okay, let's see the Claude log, how what it is saying. Okay, so it is also giving you commentary on the side. Okay, BU4 done finally. I'm on the fifth one. Okay, it says now all the five business units are linked. Let me verify the consolidated sheet to make sure all the totals. So it is now doing some checks also. Okay, so it says all the formulas are verified and correct. Let me cross check a few totals to make sure the BU numbers. So it's also validating it. At the end, what Claude does is it creates a log like this, which is an audit trail for you. So you can go inside that and see what steps it has performed. Okay, so let me show you this particular Claude log, what it is populating here. Okay, so it is giving you the user request. So it is giving you the prompt that I gave. So this is the exact prompt that I gave. Then the next one is the action taken. Okay, so what was the action taken by Claude? So the action taken was cross sheet. It created cross sheet formulas linking the 18 line items across five business unit columns B2F. Okay, so this is what the action it had taken. Okay, so it is giving you all the details as well. What are the steps it performed. So this log is very useful if you're using Claude and somebody has done some work using Claude. You can just look at this Claude log and see what is the audit trail or what are the steps that was taken. Okay, so that was a quick use case where you consolidated. Right now, it is only five business units. I have been in situations where I have had to consolidate 60 different worksheets, and it is usually a nightmare. And now, thanks to AI, this can be automated and it can be done in a much faster way. That was the first use case for today. Let me move on to the second one. Before that, I'll just quickly check the chat box if there are any comments or questions. Yes, so we will share all the use cases along with the videos and the prompts and the data set so that you can practice it later on, which will be done at the end of the webinar. So Vani is asking, we need to have the cells in particular same place to put the addition or like you. So in this case, it is not. In this case, the structure is the same structure for all the business unit sheets. Okay, but you could try it out with a different structure as well. And what I've observed that Claude should be able to handle that as well, as long as it is in some sort of a structure and it's not just random numbers. Okay, so even if one of the business unit has a slightly different structure, it should be able to read that and it should be able to consolidate it. But you can try that as well. Okay, Amish is asking the consolidated MIS now has formulas or it has this value. So let me show you what is the consolidated MIS. So it is linked. Okay, so it is linked. There are no formulas. So it is linked to BU Grand Dubai B7. This one, the second one is linked to the Abu Dhabi sheet. Okay, so this is just linking the MIS to the different business units. So in this case, there are no formulas. It is just linking it to the 20 or 5 different sheets. Yeah, so there's no formula. It's a direct reference. All right, so let me move to the second use case that I have for today. Okay, so the second use case is also one of the very common things that FP&A people do. This is called the price volume mix analysis. So when you have actual data, let me directly go into the use case so that you can see it. So when you have actuals and budget data. So in this case, you have budget data on the top. Okay, so Let me just walk you through the data set. So you have budget numbers on the top. So you have three different products. Then you have the volume, you have the pricing, you have the FX rate, okay, and then you have the revenue number. And let me show you the formula as well. So your revenue is calculated by price into volume, which is the usual revenue calculation. Price and volume are the two drivers. And then in this case, also there is a FX rate angle because you're converting the foreign currency into your local currency. Okay, so this is your FX rate at the time of the budget, and then the at the time of the actual, the FX rate has changed. Consider this to be rupees. So rupees was 85 maybe 6 months back, and now it is. Consider this dollar to rupee exchange rate, and this is your budget number, and this is your actual number. Okay, and what I want to do is I want to create a walk between the budget to the actuals, and I want to create a price volume mix analysis where I want to segregate this difference of actuals between the actual number, which is 8.3 million, or this 83 million, minus 88 million, and I want to know that this 5 million, how much is coming from the price, how much is coming from volume, how much is coming because of the changes in the effects, how much is coming because of the changes because of the mix of the product we had planned versus the actual mix. I want to see the breakup, and this is one of the most common analysis that FP&A people should know to do. So let me just give it a quick prompt. So let me just I think it already has the old history, so I have done this before. So let me again try it out. So using this data set, could you update the price volume mix FX analysis between budget and actuals for the three products: oil, gas, and ETF? ETF is jet fuel across the volume, price, and the FX. Okay, so let me just give this prompt. Okay, so I have deleted the Claude sheet because I didn't want it to see the history and be biased. So I wanted to start from fresh. So I had deleted the Claude sheet. Uh, Claude. So if you notice, it has populated the variance. It has now populated all the uh, variance, and now it is updating the log sheet. Okay. So if you notice, it has updated the work between the actuals and the budget, and it has broken down it into price, volume, and FX. You could also ask it to create a waterfall chart, and it should be able to do that as well. So if we try that to budget. So this works sometimes, it doesn't. So let me see if this works this time. Okay, so it's saying, let me first review the current variance data to set up the chart properly. For a waterfall chart, I need to create a dedicated chart source. Okay, so it's doing some background work before it creates the chart. So let us see if it is able to create that. Okay, so it says the summary table is ready. So I think it is talking about this. It says the chart is created, but I don't see the chart. Let me see if it is there somewhere else. Ah, yeah, it is there at the bottom. So if you notice, it has attempted to create a waterfall chart. Okay, it's still working, so I'll not disturb it. But it's not yet perfect. So you can see this is not correct. Okay, so it's asking Claude wants to delete the waterfall chart to rebuild it. So it identified some issue and it wants to rebuild it. I'll say allow once, and let's see what it does. Okay, so it's doing it some other way. So it first built the waterfall chart directly. Now for some reason it is building it using some other technique. So let's see what it does. Okay, so it's saying it's created some chart now. I am not able to see that. Let me see. Okay, so it's asking, can I clear the first chart series? Yeah, I'll allow it. So I don't want. Yeah. So now it has created a waterfall chart. Although it is not exactly the way I wanted, but it's still a good enough waterfall chart where you have the budget number and you have the negative numbers, which is the price, volume, and then the FX is going up, and then this is the end, which is the actual. Okay, so it created the traditional. It is using the bar chart to be able to do that. So yeah, so it was able to create a waterfall chart as well, although not as seamlessly as you would do it yourself. Okay, so that was the second use case where it did the price volume mix analysis and also then was able to do a somewhat decent job in creating the waterfall chart. Okay, let me see the chat if there are any comments before I go to the next use case. Yeah, so session is getting recorded. You will get the recording on email, and also you could check the YouTube channel of FP&A Professional Institute next week. So usually it takes 3 to 4 days for the recording to be published on the YouTube channel. Okay, all right. So I've checked the comments. Let me go to another use case, which is another important. function, which is sensitivity analysis. Okay, so let me quickly bring up a new use case. Okay, so before I go into the Excel calculations, let me quickly share the background. Okay, so these are the drivers that you see, the yellow cells, which are the important drivers for the model. Okay, so this is a website revenue model where the money we are capturing the money that the website earns from its advertisements and reader base. Okay, so consider a website where people can go and read articles, watch videos, and then the website makes money through people watching the advertisements on the website. It could be watching the ad, or it could be clicking on the ad, or it could be just going through, just looking at the ad copy. Okay. So this is the background behind the model here. So you have 7.5 million visitors in on this particular website, and the click-through rate is 2%, meaning out of the total people number of people who come on the website, 2% of the people end up clicking on the ad. And based on that, you have further drivers. Okay, so you have total impressions, click-throughs, average cost per thousand impressions. So this is the website makes $2 when every thousand people watch the ad. Okay, so that is one source of the revenue. And when the people click on the ad, there's another stream of revenue. So when somebody just sees the ad, the website makes less money. However, when somebody clicks on the ad, they make even more money. This is how the total month one revenue, or one first month revenue of the website looks like, which is $24,000, which is a combination of the CPM revenue and the CPC revenue. And the CPM revenue is your total impressions multiplied by average cost per mille, or average impressions. And then the CPC revenue is your total clicks multiplied by the average. So typically, this is how you would have any driver-based model. Now, what I want to do is I wanted to see different permutations and combinations of what would be my revenue number, which is in this case 24,000, when I have different levels of visitors. So right now it is 7.5. What will happen at 5 million? What will happen at 10 million? What will happen at 12 million? I want to see what will be the revenues at different levels of visitors and at different click-through rates. So right now it is 2%. What will happen if it goes down to 0.5%? And what will happen to the revenue if the click-through rate goes from 2% to 3%? So this is again a common situation you face in your FP&A role, where you want to understand how will the revenue change when you change one or two drivers in your model. Okay, so typically what you do is you use something called as data table in Excel. You go and you link the total or the model output at the intersection of the rows and columns here, and then after that you select the entire table, and then you go inside something called as data. Inside data you have whatever analysis, and inside that you have the data table. And here you have to give the row and the column inputs. So the row input in this case is my number of visitors. So I'll say number of visitors. The column input in this case for me is the click-through rate. So I'll point it to the click-through rate. And that's how it populates the different levels of revenue. So uh, for example, 24,000 revenue is when you have 7.5 million and 2% click-through rate. So here is your 7.5%, and this is your 2%. Okay, so this is your 24,000 revenue, which is what the table is doing. It's giving you the revenue number at different levels of the different two drivers. Okay. Let me make it 15 and 3. Let me see what happens then. And let me make this 3%. You see the $70,500. This is what you see here in the table. Okay, what this means is that this table is working properly if you are able to reconcile this and this. Now, if I want to do the same thing using Claude, I would probably be able to do this without understanding Excel formulas and functions like data table. Okay, so what I would do is I would give it a quick prompt. Let me go to the prompt that I have copy pasted. Okay, so let me try this out. Okay, so I'll say perform sensitivity analysis on the website blog revenue model. Okay, so this is a simple prompt that I'm giving, and I'm just pressing enter. Okay, it says I'll start by reading the data on the sensitivity analysis using chat. Okay, so it's reading the data now. Let's see if it is able to do the same thing that we did using Excel. Okay, so it was able to quickly update the data table without me doing anything. Earlier, I had to perform five different steps to be able to get to that. So if you can see the formula, it is using Excel formulas to be able to do the calculations. It is using the table and also the drivers, and it is creating it has created the formulas to be able to get to that table that I earlier wanted. Okay, so this was another interesting case study, and sensitivity analysis again something that you do on an ongoing basis in FP&A roles. Okay, I'll quickly take a look at the chat box if there are any comments and or any questions on this use case. If not, I'll go and try to squeeze in one more before we go back to the slides. Okay, let me do one more use case. Let me see which one is the next one. So this is another analysis that you could do using Claude, which is in this case, if you have a project with a different, I would say, investment horizon. So it's not a 1 year project, but it's a multi-year project taking 2, 3, 4, 5 years, and you need to figure out the feasibility of the project. If you want to decide if this project is a good project, typically what you use is metrics like NPV, IRR, and payback period to be able to decide whether if the investment is worth in a long-term project or a machinery or a factory or any fixed capital investment which is going to take you to recover over more than 1 year. Okay, so capital budgeting is the most common technique to be able to do such analysis. And let's see if we can do that using plot. Okay, I'm opening the use case that I have with me. So I'll first quickly let you know what the use case is. So in this case, we are going to purchase a new machinery. Okay, so the machinery is costing $100,000. As a result of the new machinery, the company will make 40,000 extra, $40,000 extra for the next 5 years, starting the next year. So for year one to year five, they'll start making $40,000 because they installed a new machinery at point zero or in today's. So if they install a new machinery today, they'll be making $40,000 every year incremental revenue for the next 5 years. Okay, so that is the use case, and you have the discount rate and you have the project life as well. Okay, so let me give it a prompt now. So I'm using this prompt, which is calculate NPV, IRR, payback period, and discounted payback period using the data set. So you use this data set and provide me the calculations. And I just don't want the calculation. I also want a recommendation whether I should be going ahead or investing in this project or not. Okay, so let me go and give it enter, hit enter. Okay, again, it will start reading the data set first. Okay, it says now I have a complete picture of the data. Let me build a full analysis on this. Okay, so it's now starting to do the analysis. Okay, let me go back to sheet one. Okay, so if you notice, it is started populating the discount factor, the discounted cash flow, the cumulative cash flows, accumulated discounted cash flow, which are all the calculations which will be required to do to do the NPV and IRR calculations. Okay, so if you can notice, it has calculated the NPV. Okay, and let me just quickly check if this NPV number is right. So you have an NPV formula in Excel. It says rate. Okay, so I give it the rate. Value one, value two, value three. So I give it value one, value two, which is the cash inflows of the future, and then I have to subtract the original initial investment. Okay, so it has given you the exact same answer, which I would have calculated it manually. Let me just change the format. So it's giving you the exact same answer. So I will do the IRR check as well. IRR, the IRR formula where you have IRR and then you can take all of these values. Okay. So it is giving you the IRR as well without using the formula. Okay. Payback period, similarly, I could just see and calculate the payback period and the discounted payback period as well using the cumulative discounted cash flows. So it has done the calculation and now it is working on the recommendation. Okay, so because I was also editing, it has stopped. So it is asking me once you exit the editing mode, I'll continue. So I'll ask, you can continue with analysis. Okay, it says it looks like you have exited the cell editing mode. Let me now write the recommendation section for you. So it's now working on the recommendation section, giving you the decision basis all of these calculations. So NPV decision, except because NPV is positive and the project will add value. Okay. IRR, except because the IRR is greater than the discount rate. Okay. Payback period assessment. Payback is 3.5 years within the project life, which is 5 years. Your discounted payback period is 4.46 years. Okay. So overall, it says except the project, all the key metrics are supporting the investment. So it has not just calculated the NPV, RR, and payback period. It has also given you the recommendation on the same. So these were the quick use cases I wanted to share, and there are dozens of them more, which we will share at the end of the webinar. And you will get all the data sets and all the prompts that you can use to practice. But what you should be doing right now is looking at these four use cases from different, uh, I would say, different areas. So one use case was on the budgeting consolidation. The other use case was on financial modeling, sensitivity analysis. Then there was a use case which we did on capital budgeting, right, which was analysis. So I've tried to bring in different use cases from different areas. You should try and figure out what are some of the use cases that you are working on your daily basis or a weekly basis, which could also be very similar, and you should try to apply all of these prompts or build your own prompts and try doing the same thing using Claude or any other AI tool that you're using. So you could use Claude, you could use Copilot, you could use Gemini, whatever the tool you're using. However, you should get used to working with AI and become fluent with that. Okay, with that, I will give it back to Dhawal and he will go back to the slides and we'll take questions in about 10 minutes from now.
Thanks, Asif. As usual, the tools are improving and the examples keep getting better and better every day, that we are exploring these tools. So now that we have understood a little bit about how can we leverage AI tools in our FP&A roles, do you realize how amazing it would be to learn all the future-ready AI FP&A skill sets? Do you also want to be prepared for grabbing those opportunities in the AI-driven FP&A function? So what we have been doing at FPI is we have spoken to dozens of CFOs, and we can sum up the 5 critical skills that CFOs today are looking for in their finance function. Now, what are those 5 skill sets? One is the core FP&A concepts. That's your budgeting, forecasting, variance analysis, commentaries. All of these things are your core FP&A concepts, and there's no substitute for this. Then comes financial modeling, which is very specific to FP&A. That's your sensitivity analysis, your revenue models, your cost models, your seasonality, trends. All of these is actually financial modeling specific to FP&A. And then we have data storytelling. Yes, you can analyze 10,000 lines of Excel sheets, but how do you communicate that as a clear story for the management to take certain decisions? That is where storytelling comes into play. And storytelling is not just building a dashboard. It goes much beyond that in building your narrative, in building your story. And then comes business partnering. How do you collaborate with various cross-functional team members? Business acumen, your ability to build relationships. All of that is important from a business partnering standpoint. And last but not the least, leveraging all the technology and AI developments that are happening in the finance field so that you can be far more effective and efficient in your finance function. So these are the core 5 skill sets that CFOs today are looking for in their finance teams. Now, what we have done at FPI is we have always tried to stay ahead of the curve and build a futuristic program that kind of gives you a complete picture of what FP&A is and also makes you future ready for all the FP&A roles. That's the CGFPA program, which is called the Certified Global FP&A Professional Program. The CGFPA program is a global FP&A certification. It is built and delivered directly by CFOs and FP&A leaders. It has 10 comprehensive modules, which we'll discuss in a while. Everything through practical examples like the ones you saw. We go much deeper into case studies, practical sessions, simulations, role plays, real life flex scenarios, and you'll be part of a global alumni network. CGFP course has been taken by students from more than 25 countries so far. So you'll always be part of a global alumni network. We'll get sessions with a personalized career coach to tailor any career queries that you have. Placement support, your resume review, your interview preparations, mock interview preps. We've also got our own portal now, which is called fpnajobs.com, where we're trying to make a sincere attempt to bring the recruiters and FP&A talent on one single platform. Monthly Q&A sessions where you can ask the questions to the faculty directly, or any doubts that you have, you can ask them to the faculty directly. Then access to external speaker sessions. So globally, top FP&A experts, tool experts, implementation partners, digital and data and AI experts All of them come to FPI for a monthly guest session, and we conduct one guest session every month where you get real practical examples of how companies are adapting to FP&A and especially AI in FP&A, right? So, and all of this happens to the comfort of your home through seamless online LMS. All the sessions are conducted on Zoom. The recordings are provided and hosted on LMS. So everything happens to the comfort of your home online. Now, what does the CGFPA curriculum involve? It has 10 comprehensive modules that are built with a lot of love and care. I'll let Asif cover the first five modules that you see on the left, and then I'll talk about the modules on the right.
All right, let me talk about the modules on the left-hand side. So you have Introduction to FP&A. So quickly, what that module is giving you a quick overview of what the FP&A role looks like. This is especially useful for people who have never worked in FP&A. So it talks about what are the different roles and responsibilities, how does the FP&A work life look like, how does the typical FP&A calendar look like using examples, case studies. So that is a little bit about the introduction module. Budgeting forecasting module is one of the most core module of the CGFP program, where we teach you different budgeting techniques, different forecasting techniques. So budgeting techniques like tops down, bottoms up, incremental, zero based, activity based budgeting. Forecasting technique includes different statistical methods of doing forecasting. Then driver based forecasting, rolling forecast. So those are different topics covered in the budgets and forecast, and we walk you through the entire annual operating plan journey, right from creating the templates and preparing the budget guidelines to consolidation of the budget to the end CFO presentation. Okay, and you do that for different areas, revenues, operating expenses, uh, COGS, production, inventory. So you do all of these different budgets and then consolidate everything together. Okay, so that's a little bit of the budgeting forecasting module. AI and finance and FP&A, very similar to today's webinar. We have a library of use cases, and we show you different AI tools. It could be large language models like Claude, Gemini, OpenAI, ChatGPT, Copilot. Okay, so all of these are covered in the module. Along with that, also agentic AI. So a lot of uh, uh, people are now talking about AI agents, which is using AI not just for doing specific tasks, but as a proper automated sequence where you have three different workflows or three different tools working together, connected to each other. Okay, so AI agents and very specific AI use cases. So there could be a specific tool which is only used for reconciliation. There is a specific tool which is only used for forecasting. So there are specific AI tools which also is covered in the AI for finance and FP&A module. And it has been one of the most interesting and the I would say fast changing modules in the last 1.5 years. So every quarter we update that module, and every quarter when we update, there are some new developments happening there. So it gets refreshed every quarter as well. Then you have the management reporting, which is one of the another core modules where you learn about different FP&A reports, what are different FP&A performance management frameworks. Like, for example, you have key performance indicators, balance scorecards, objectives and key results, so different performance management frameworks. Most commonly use FP&A reports like your month-end, the quarter-end report, flash reports. Then you have risk and opportunity analysis, so different types of reports which are prepared in FP&A, and also reports prepared for different teams. So you have HR report, or the headcount and salary report, or the marketing and analysis report, or the sales report, the different reports that you prepare for different business units. So all of that is covered along with variance analysis, which is a key part of that module. Different frameworks in which different frameworks you use to do variance analysis, profitability analysis, recharges and allocation. Though that is a little bit about the management reporting module. Then you have the financial modeling for FP&A, which is something which is very practical use cases where you can apply the best practices in financial modeling and make your lives easier and more productive. So we cover topics including the three statement financial model, revenue modeling, different types of business you understand, and then you create revenue models for them. You do cost modeling, uh, cash flow forecasting, scenario planning, sensitivity analysis. So those are some of the topics covered in the financial modeling for FP&A, so very specific to FP&A. That's a little bit about the five modules, the first five modules of the CGFPA. I will let Dhawal talk about the remaining five modules that you see on the right hand side.
Thank you, Asif. One thing that is common in all the FP&A roles is dealing with large sets of data, right? Whether it is financial data or operational data. You need to know your way to navigate through that data. So that's where in the data analysis module, we're covering all the essential tools like Power BI, Power Query, SQL, Tableau. Now we are also introducing Python. So making sure that you are comfortable using these tools in your day-to-day function. We don't claim to make you an expert in these tools, but at least take you to a level where you are comfortable to use these tools in your day-to-day function, which will help you become far more efficient and fast in your handling large sets of data as well. Then comes financial analysis. Now, financial analysis is not just about ratio analysis. There are different kinds of analysis that a CFO is supposed to look at from an internal perspective in the company. So those all different kind of analysis like horizontal analysis, vertical analysis, mix analysis, all of those things are covered in the financial analysis module. And then comes storytelling and presentations. The storytelling best practices, presentation best practices. How do you present to senior executives? How do you present to mid-junior executives? So all of those things are covered through practical examples and frameworks in the storytelling and presentation module. Now, strategy is a very interestingly poised module. Um, as and when you start becoming senior in your company, right? So your senior management will start talking a certain strategic language. At that point in time, you cannot use strategy terms in a very loose way, right? So they mean something very specific. So that's why we're covering all the popular strategic tools and also show you how they are interlinked with the FP&A function and how FP&A can contribute to these strategic finance decisions. And then finally comes business partnering. It's about your business acumen, your ability to build relationships. Through some 7 to 8 practical examples, we show you how Asif and I have coordinated with various or collaborated with various business teams in our careers, whether it is HR or business development or some external consultants, plant manufacturing. So all of those things are covered through practical examples in the business partnering module. Again, 10 solid modules. Everything you can think about in FP&A is covered in the CGFPA module. Don't just think about this as a course or a certification. It is 20 years of our blood, sweat, and tears packed into a 6-month program. So it can easily fast track your finance career, give you a lot of exposure within the 6 months that we are planning. Okay. Now, what is the eligibility? Oh, yeah. So there are, again, 25 plus case studies, 50 plus examples, 10 different tools. We're covering all the popular data analytics tools like Power BI, Power Query, Python, Tableau, SQL. And then in terms of AI tools, all the AI tools, which is like Claude, ChatGPT, Copilot, Manus, Gemini, all of these are being included in our teachings right now. One thing that I would like to highlight is that AI is now getting normalized in all our teachings. Like if I have to teach you retail profitability for a or a store-wise profitability for a retail company which has 500 stores, we first tell you how the store-wise profitability is prepared and analyzed in Excel, and immediately we show you how AI can make your life simpler to analyze the same set of data. So a lot of AI is getting embedded into every module or every concept that we are now sharing in the CGFPA program. So what is the eligibility for the CGFPA program? You need to have a minimum of a bachelor's degree or a globally equivalent in finance, accounting, or business. Or alternatively, you may have professional qualifications like CA, CPA, CMA, ACCA, or any respective accounting qualification of your country. We don't claim to be a substitute for these basic accounting qualifications. In fact, we are a supplement for these accounting qualifications because FP&A is not something which is the focus of these core accounting qualifications. We are also accredited by CPD UK, so you can claim continuing credits in your accounting qualifications as well. Now, how do you get the CGFPA award? There are 3 things. One is every Saturday and Sunday we meet live for 2 hours each. Saturday is the FP&A track where we're teaching the core FP&A concepts. Sunday is a tool track where you get exposed to all the different tools, Power BI, Power Query, Python, and every tool. So attendance, at least 50% of the live classes needs to be attended. That's a compulsory. And then somewhere in month number 5, you will be submitting a capstone assignment, which is an end-to-end budget presentation for a CFO. All the guidance around the capstone will be given to you. Don't worry about it. Once you do that, you're eligible for the final examination. The final examination is 100 marks, 50 questions, multiple choice questions type examination, which is a live proctored examination, right? And you take it from your home, but there are tools that we use to make sure that it's a live proctored examination. And once you clear the examination with minimum 50% passing marks, you will be awarded the CGFPA certificate from FP&A Professionals Institute. Okay. So the ROI for a program like this, I leave it to your imagination. The course fee investment in this program is USD 1795. There is also an option to pay it over 5 months. The course duration in total will be for 6 months, where we meet Saturday and Sunday live for 2 hours each. So totally about 3 to 4 hours of your weekly commitment is required. Sometimes we might share some pre-reading materials or quick case studies for you to go through and then come to the class. So I would say about 3 to 4 hours of your own time investment is required. On the tools front, maximum work happens in the classroom itself, whether it is learning Python or Power BI, a lot of exercise happens live in the classroom itself. So you don't need to spend any special time for that. Of course, you should practice whenever you get time. The next cohort is starting on 14th of March, that is tomorrow. That's the orientation date. The actual classes are starting from 4th of April, that's Saturday, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. IST. 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. IST. So the date that you need to remember is 15th of March 26. That's when the final round of applications are closing for the current cohort, which is cohort 8. Right? So make sure that you at least fill in the applications, be in the race. Asif has already shared the application link in the chat box. Make sure that you fill in the application. The application is completely free of cost. Let our academic counselors check your eligibility. They'll reach out to you. They'll also share with you some demo lectures if you want to see them. You can also talk to any of our past alumni. You can ask for alumni phone numbers. You can talk to them. Do your own due diligence. Don't just enroll into this because we are telling you. Do your own due diligence. There have been tons and tons of testimonials. People have been able to land FP&A roles. People have been able to implement a lot of stuff that they have learned in their FP&A roles as well. So this is a highly practical oriented program. Okay. FP&Ajobs.com is our latest initiative where we're trying to bring all the recruiters and FP&A talent on one platform. Make sure that you create a detailed profile on FP&Ajobs.com. Hopefully, your next opportunity will come from FP&Ajobs.com. Okay. Again, just reiterating the date for all of you. 15th March 26 is when the current cohort applications are closing. Make sure that you at least fill in the application, and our academic counselors will reach out to you with whatever the early bird offers or whatever the offers are there at that point in time.
All right, thanks everybody for joining. We will see you soon in one of our future webinars or one of the certification of courses. Thanks everybody. Have a
Thanks,
great
everyone.
rest of your weekend. Bye.